Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. I am Abe with MysticGenmara.com, a small town mystic from the middle of Idaho. And tonight, whenever you happen to be seeing this, I would like to offer your mid-October elemental energy reading. It's a bonus one for the elemental energy of water. If you have never had your charts read, there's a link in the description for a chart from Llewellyn. It's just a basic chart, and it gives you your base 12 houses, all the little signs and symbols, and then there's 10 to 20 pages of a description of what all that means. There's also a section in there that is for your elemental alignment, showing what you're dominant in. Like mine is water and air are the two dominants, and then the other two, fire and earth, are way less. And that's where you can kind of get an idea from a baseline of where your alignment is, but it's also kind of the easy access point to figuring out what all that stuff means, because the elements birthed the zodiac. So once you figure out where you align, then you can start seeing how all that plays out. And there are people that'll discuss that otherwise, but that's how I've come to understand it. So with that, we'll get started here. One thing, if you see something different in the cards as I'm reholding them up and talking about them, feel free to put that in the comments down below. I read from intuition, so whatever comes through, and it's always interesting to hear what other people's intuition brings up as well. So your significator, and I use the Celtic cross as the basic for this one. The significator, this is a snapshot of who you are in this moment in totality, is the Six of Wands. Water, you've had some success here recently. You've got other people acknowledging, admiring, they're kind of looking up to you, and you're feeling healthy pride. There's a little heads up there on the warning part. You're carrying a water knight, that's not a good sign. But there's a little bit of this warning not to let the ego get involved, but you have a healthy pride that's from a job well done. You've done good things. So the snapshot of this moment is you've been through some trials, you've come out on the other side shining, and now's a point when others are noticing it. So this is a celebratory time for our water family, so that's pretty cool. Your energy that's crossing, this could be an upcoming challenge or something you're dealing with in the moment, is the Five of Swords. There's a little bit of who won and who lost. Like there's almost this energy that in some ways, even though everyone else is pointing out the fact that you've succeeded, you almost feel like you've lost because somebody or something had to be let go of to make it where you're at. So this would be your energy, and then this is the person that's conquered. And it's more of this, was that necessary? Did I really need to take that route to get where I'm going? And what I'm hearing is this is one of those mindset things where we have to really step out of our emotions and look at it from a logical perspective and see what was the steps that led there. Was there a point where you may have been able to dodge this, or was this like the only option to get past this? Because there are people that come into our lives, there are situations that we deal with that are there exclusively to challenge us and to make us grow. So the loss of them is almost disrespect. Doesn't saying that it's bad or good. It's more of they were there to serve a purpose. They did their job, and so now that they're leaving, it's almost like, but wait, I want you back. So it's not always a bad thing, but this is where you get to analyze and understand. So the challenge is being able to look through the emotions and see what actually was going on there. So your higher self, the highest frequency of who you are in the moment, is the Knight of Swords. Interesting, you have air coming up. And the Knight of Swords is saying, you have the ability to manage a lot. You've been through some stuff. You've even had to deal with some injuries along the way. But the Knight of Swords is saying, you're able to do stuff because you can look at things from the multiple angle aspect. Especially if you're looking Scorpio or Pisces, especially Pisces, you're going to be able to see things from multiple areas because you've already been through all 11 of the other zodiac signs. So you're able to step beyond and see what's really going on. And what the energy of this Knight is saying is, even in the midst of swirls, of chaos, of things just being almost overwhelming to most people, you're able to still see the truth in a situation and stand strong, even if you might get a little damaged on the way. But your higher self is saying, this is a gift that you have achieved, water, as you've went forward, is it doesn't matter what other people think. there's chaos all around, but you know the truth, you know what you're doing, and you can still steer your ship or steer your course even with all the maelstrom that's going around. So in reality, you've moved beyond a fair amount of struggles, and you've taken those struggles and turned them into lessons, tools, and talents. And that's allowed you a whole different aspect of reality, because now it doesn't bother you to have those things. They pop up, you're like, oh, I know what this is, bloop, and you can continue on your path. So really, your higher self is, again, patting you on the backwater. Good job, you've done a lot. It's time to use your skills and talents in the way they were meant to be used. Your shadow self, which is repressed memories, it's things our shadow energy, stuff that we might have stuffed in there that someone else told us wasn't good, and things are starting to come to the surface because it's time to process, is the Four of Swords. The energy that's coming up here is don't be a dreamer, and I'm not sure how that's playing out, so if that resonates, great. But it's saying you worry so much about things that you've already achieved. This is like your successes. And now you're ready to fight the next battle because that's the only way you've known how to live. But that's also a dream, because you don't have to always be at war. You don't have to always be ready for the next fight. The Four of Swords is also indicating that this is an air energy, so you also have an intellectual side to things. Maybe instead of looking at things as always ready to be on guard and have to fight, how about looking at things of how can I learn from this? How can I work through this? Because you've already proven you can do that. Your higher self is saying that. So you know that this is a possibility, but your subconscious mind, your shadow, is saying, why focus on always being warrior ready? Why not be ready to adapt to a situation? Because water, let's be real here, out of the four elements, you're the only one that will fit whatever vessel is put there, succeed, grow, or break the vessel and move on to something different. Because that's the nature of water. We are not stagnant people. We move, we shift, we change. The ultimate chameleon is the water energy. Again, if you look to Pisces, they are literally the ultimate chameleon in the zodiac too. So when you look at it from that perspective, why look at it from the state of being on the defensive? And why not look at it from the state of being on the more of aggressive side, where no, I'm going to take control of the situation. This is how I'm going to play it out. Things come up, I will learn my lesson, and I will continue forward. So that's what your shadow is bringing up for you. Your immediate history, the past 1 month, 6 months, or a year, man, you've got a lot of air going on here. Water. So pay attention. If you've got an air friend, then definitely kind of hang out with them a little bit, but pay attention. Don't let them get too close. But the other aspect here is if you're a water dominant air secondary or air balancer, this is going to be a reading more focused for you. Six of Swords is saying you're flying above. Up in the past, you've flown above your battles. You've been able to lead the charge, but you've been protecting something other people didn't notice. You've been protecting an apprentice. You've been protecting your child. Something along those lines where you've had to be the one in charge, but you don't want to get too far into the fray because you are carrying something valuable that needs to be protected. That doesn't mean you're not involved. You're still guiding things from where you've been, and that's part of the reason you've come out to be successful, because even though through your guidance, no one else has been really hurt. I mean, the situation wasn't great, and they're not showing me what that was, but they're just indicating water just came out of a problem, and where it was, not a good thing. But because of water's ability to guide, to protect, and to grow, and be a leader in this aspect, you've actually led the people who are with you, supporting you, out of the situation with success. And that's why your significator card has you being appreciated. These dragons around it are all saying good job to him because you've succeeded. Where people may have questioned you, they may not have thought you were going to be able to succeed through all of that, but you came out on top because that's the way it was meant to be, because you were paying attention, you were moving with the flow of life and of your soul, and that's where things have shifted for you. Your immediate future, 1 month, 6 months, or a year, is the Knight of Pentacles, and this is saying it's time to reflect your success to others. You're still in that guarding mode. You're still in this energy of I have to be the one paying attention and the one in charge, but at this point you're reflecting this positivity to others as well. You're not keeping everything just for yourself. You're bringing it in, you're using and utilizing, but you're also passing it on. basically, like, if you're in a business situation, as the money's coming in, the business is getting bigger, you're paying the loyal employees more because they're staying with you and they're helping you succeed, and your success trickles to theirs and back and forth. So you're in a really good spot here in going forward, because all the good that has come in from you being able to lead to this point, you're allowing to be shared with others through teaching, through promotions, things like that. And that is helping them become better people as well. So your future is looking really positive here at Water. Your inner attitude, kind of the thought patterns you're in the moment, is the Page of Cups. And this is, again, we're going into this energy of don't get too distracted by the reflections of what others are thinking. You still have growth. You still are we're human. We all have things to grow from. But this energy is saying you've done a lot, and now you're kind of in this new energy, this new environment. You're not used to being the one at the center of attention. You're not used to being praised. And that's causing a little bit of like almost an ego reflection popping up. This is a heads up. Don't let that get in the way. Don't let that become a dominant feeling or sensation, because that's really not going to be beneficial. You also have wisdom floating in the background, but wisdom tied to beauty as well. So you've gained a lot, you've learned a lot, and you're looking good. You're looking very attractive to other people. If you're single, this could be a good thing for a partner. If you're in a business situation, the higher ups are like, that person knows what they're doing. So you've got a lot of good vibes going on, and your mindset's actually in a really good spot. There's just that little heads up, don't let the ego get too powerful here. So your outside environment, this is the world around you, the stuff you really can't change. And it's number 9, the Hermit energy. The outside world is, I have this feeling that certain groups are trying to isolate you because they see how well you're doing and they don't like it. So they're trying to push back. But the benefit of that is if those people are pulling away and they're stepping away, it's actually allowing you to see who's actually there supporting you. So this type of energy from the Hermit is about solitude, teaching, education, spending time alone, and meditation. These are basics, by the way. And so when you look at it from that perspective, these people stepping away because they just don't think you know what you're doing, perfect, because it's giving you the time to really solidify the inner circle. And it may mean that you step away from the outside world because it's too chaotic, and allow yourself to ground, meditate, really integrate the lessons that you've learned, and see the difference that you've had. And when you look at your outer world and your inner world, heads up, pay attention to your ego, keep it in check. But the outer world is kind of trying to isolate you. Use that as a huge opportunity, and let the people who are closest, the ones that are supporting you, those people are going to stay with you. The rest of them, let them go. And in that process, it'll make space for better things to come. So your hopes and fears is the Sire of Swords. And in some ways, you could say this is like a father figure or something along those lines. And it's showing this beautiful dragon. You've achieved a lot, again, with the swords. Air, energy, intellect, mind. You've achieved a great deal, and now you're in this position of peace. You're carrying a butterfly, you got Junior up here on your shoulder. So you've done a lot of things. The thing that you've been protecting is now safe. The thing that you've been working to safeguard or to encourage or coach is now in a way better spot. You still have the soul of battle if need be. You still have the ability to cut away illusions. But it's not always necessary to be at war. And so your fear is that you're going to have to go back and have to struggle and fight and duke things out, metaphorically speaking, to continue on. But the hope is you don't have to. Yes, you're ready for battle if necessary, but you're taking the steps to move forward and kind of dodging those bullets. And if they do pop up, you're going to squash them because that's what you've done. But you're not going to entertain that's the only method, that's the only path, because you've learned, especially in this last little bit, that you don't need that. You can actually do quite well if you manage from the better perspective. So your final outcome here, oh, this is perfect, is number 19, the Sun. And this is saying that the outcome from all of this is actually success. The outcome of all this is growth. It is you shining above. But as you shine, you radiate to others. As you grow, others grow with you. You're the beacon, you're the guiding light for other people to grow, to exchange, to change, and become better people. Water, this is an amazing reading because you're able to step into a leadership role that doesn't require battling it out every 10 seconds. It doesn't require having to be the mean guy. You have the ability, and people know that, and they respect you for it because you know that's not the best option in most cases going forward here. So your outcome being the sun is saying you're in the perfect location to move into a higher state. And your underlying theme here is the Ace of Cups. Water, this is the beginning of something new for you. This is the start of the next chapter of your life. This entire reading, and you can take it for the last month, 6 months, or a year, this is saying this is what is going on. You have been basically brought to a new plateau, your new foundation, and now there's something new on the horizon. There is a change in your environment that is calling you to something higher, that is calling you to this expanded reality. So this reading is really fun in that respect, and it's all about air, the learning, the knowledge. You have achieved so much. Having Earth as your immediate future is saying all of the stuff you've learned, mind, knowledge, all this, you're bringing through to experience into the physical world, which is creating wisdom, and that's where the guiding light comes in. So Water, you have got an amazing period of time going forward. You're in a good spot now, but it's saying going forward, things are going to shift in a very powerful way for you. So let's see what the Oracle cards have to add to this. And if you have a question with that you're looking for an answer with, go ahead and push pause and then listen to the 3 cards and see if the answer is there. Otherwise, we'll hop into these Oracle cards and see what other information is out there for our Water family. Also, if you're new here, hit that subscribe button, drop a like on the video. And like I said, I'm really interested to hear what you guys and gals think about the intuitive aspects of the cards. So if you see something, let me know. With that, we'll get started with your first card. You can't make this stuff up because I literally shuffle them as I'm doing the stream. The owl is your first oracle card, and it says, follow your intuition. The owls are symbols of wisdom. They're symbols of knowledge. Knowledge applied to life. Wisdom is knowledge plus action equals wisdom, and that's how I look at it. So when you look at wisdom through the eyes of an owl, this is knowledge that you've acquired, and you're able to apply it. So this is just confirmation that Water, you've learned so much in the last little bit. You have expanded beyond what anyone else ever thought. You have literally smashed other people's opinions of you. The people who are still having those opinions are fading away, just like the Hermit says. The owl is saying now it's time to really tap in. Your intuition, Water, because that's one of the gifts of Water, is intuitiveness, is guiding you in a way that your wisdom, your air mind, is like, actually, that's a good idea, let's do that. So you're starting to sync mind and heart, mind and spirit, mind, body, spirit's the totality of all. When you bring those together, miracles happen. There's still going to be challenges, but you have knowledge of how to deal with them now. And that's the beauty of what's coming forward here. Your second card, I'm sorry, is illusion, embracing the truth. Air slices away with the sword the illusions of falsehood. Water, it's saying you know how to remove the fake. You know how to see through the illusion. You really can understand a lot of the motives behind why people do what they do, and that gives you a secret insight, allowing you to apply your wisdom, your tools, the things that you have learned, and move away from being in combat mode into this is how we're going to do this mode. This is one of the beauties of being a leader, is being able to see the truth in a situation. There are times, especially if you're in management, where there's two people that are bickering and you have to navigate who's right and who's wrong. Sometimes they're both wrong, and that's when you get to call them on it. Other times you have to figure out how to carefully negotiate between the two to make sure that no one's, feelings are hurt and things like that, but make sure that the truth actually comes to the forefront. That way you can dissolve the illusions that are tied to it. And Water is showing me right now that you have this talent in spades. Like, you're doing really well here. So let's take a peek at your last card. Is Battle of the Blues. Take steps toward positive change. Even though you may feel that you are not where you want to be, your crossing card here, pop that back up, is showing that you're feeling like there was something that was let go of that you almost have regret over. And that's a little bit of a tarnish on the success of your now moment. But it's not really. The Battle of the Blues is bringing forward the information that sometimes we have to understand loss as a path to future achievement. You have to make space, and that means sometimes you have to let go of things to be able to move into that higher aspect, to be able to move into those higher frequencies. You have to let go. Is that easy? Heck no. Is it necessary? Most of the time, because you can only carry so much on your shoulders, and when you let it go, when you shrug your shoulders and kick off the things that don't need to be there, all of a sudden you have new strength, which means you can try new things, you can achieve something different. So the Battle of the Blues is not saying, oh, you've done bad. It's more of, now you understand that there's times and places for everything. Everything has a season, everything has a cycle, and it's time to pass off those things that no longer serve you for your highest benefit. So with that, Water, I think we'll wrap this up. Overall, you have got an amazing energy coming in right now. You're standing in authority. People are noticing you, and in a big positive way, they're noticing you. Your future is shining. You get to be the leader, even if you're not really into being a leader. By your actions, by your example, you are a shining leader for others. So with that, I will let you guys and gals go. I will see you in the next video. Have a obviously great month of October.